You're driving down a deserted road, the GPS leading you further and further away from civilization. The trees seem to close in around you, casting long, ominous shadows on the ground. Suddenly, your phone loses signal, and you're alone. This is how it started for the victims of a serial killer who terrorized Lake County, leaving a trail of bodies and unanswered questions in their wake. It was a crisp autumn evening when the first victim went missing. The sun had just set, casting a golden glow over the small town of Lake County. But as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, a sense of unease settled over the community. A young woman, barely out of her teens, had vanished while walking home from the local library. Her parents reported her missing when she failed to return home for dinner, sparking a frantic search effort that would span weeks. As the days turned into nights, the town was plagued by an eerie feeling that something was off. Little did they know, this was only the beginning of a horrific series of events that would leave their community shattered. You can almost smell the damp earth and fallen leaves as you walk through the deserted streets, the only sound being the rustling of leaves beneath your feet. Weeks turned into months, and the search for the missing woman continued. But it wasn't until the discovery of a second body that the true horrors of the situation began to unravel. A fisherman, out on the lake at dawn, stumbled upon a gruesome sight: a young woman's body, partially submerged in the water. As the news spread like wildfire, the community was left reeling. The question on everyone's mind was, who could be behind such a heinous crime? You can almost hear the sound of the water lapping against the shore, the cries of seagulls echoing through the air, as the fisherman's voice trembles as he recounts his discovery. As the investigation into the murders continued, detectives began to notice a disturbing pattern. All of the victims had one thing in common: they had all been seen walking alone at night, in areas with little to no surveillance. It was as if the killer had been stalking them, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But who was this individual, and what drove them to commit such atrocities? The police were determined to find out, poring over every shred of evidence, every witness statement, in the hopes of catching a break in the case. You can almost feel the tension in the air as the detectives work tirelessly, fueled by a mix of adrenaline and frustration, as they try to piece together the puzzle of the killer's identity. Just when it seemed like the case was going cold, a shocking twist threw everything off balance. A suspect, arrested on unrelated charges, was found to have a disturbing connection to the murders. But as the detectives dug deeper, they realized that nothing was as it seemed. The suspect's alibi checked out, and the evidence against them was circumstantial at best. Had the police caught the right person, or were they just pawns in a much larger game? The investigation had just taken a dramatic turn, and the stakes were higher than ever before. You can almost feel the sense of unease as the detectives realize they may have been misled, their confidence shaken by the unexpected turn of events. As the news of the suspect's arrest spread, the community breathed a collective sigh of relief. But for the families of the victims, the pain and grief would never truly subside. They had lost loved ones, taken from them in the most brutal and senseless way imaginable. The question on everyone's mind was, would justice be served? Would the suspect be found guilty, and if so, what punishment would they face? The aftermath of the tragedy would be felt for years to come, a reminder of the darkness that lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike. You can almost hear the sound of tears falling, the whispered words of condolence, as the families of the victims struggle to come to terms with their loss. Today, the case is still shrouded in mystery, with many questions left unanswered. The suspect's trial is ongoing, with the prosecution presenting their case against the accused. But as the evidence is laid out, one thing becomes clear: the truth is far more complex and sinister than anyone could have imagined. The investigation has uncovered a web of deceit and betrayal, with the killer's motives still unclear. As we wait for the verdict, one thing is certain: the community will never be the same again. The experience has left an indelible mark, a reminder of the darkness that lurks within humanity. You can almost feel the sense of unease, the uncertainty, as the community waits with bated breath for the outcome of the trial, their minds racing with questions and doubts. As we conclude this chilling tale, we're left with more questions than answers. What drove the suspect to commit such heinous crimes? Will justice be served, or will the killer evade punishment? The mystery remains, and it's up to you to piece together the evidence and crack the case. Like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories, and let's work together to uncover the truth. But be warned, the truth is often more terrifying than fiction, and once you know, you can't unknow. The darkness is out there, waiting to strike, and it's up to us to shine a light on it.